So my topic today is going to be about the evolution of hiring. And that's generally going to run you through where it started and where we are today. To kind of give you an explanation of why we're sharing this, is because we want to give you an insight of where the journey is going to go. And you can only predict the future if you understand the past, right? Once you understand what's happening in the past, then you can kind of get a predictive idea of what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so we'll kick us off. If you think about it, there are kind of three topics here, right? So the traditional hiring methods, how it happened before, and then we went into the 20th century, the 19th century as well. Those were kind of modern hiring techniques. And then we went to the future of hiring, or what we're looking into the future of hiring. And we're in a very unique space today where things are changing rapidly and evolving very quickly. As the customer success manager for LinkedIn, all our customers right now are in the midst of change. They are changing the way they're doing things. And we're going to explore first what the traditional methods were before we look at the change. So back in the day, if any of you were looking for jobs back then, you would probably look at a job on the classifieds on newspaper, right? You would look for an ad that was posted there to kind of look for what's out there, what job may fit you. The other method that we would look at would be the referrals. So you would speak to a colleague of your or a friend of yours who's working at a company that you want to work for, and you will ask for a way in. And they would, if they like you and they think you're suitable for a job, they will ask your CV, then you pass it over. And thirdly, companies would host a walk-in. So they run a day where you can come in and send me your resume and talk to a HR practitioner or a hiring manager about a role that they may have in the organization. Now, we'll look at newspaper ads first. Back then, it was a very conventional method, right? So the good thing about newspaper ads was that they weren't really targeted. You just put it in the paper, and anybody that see the classified ad would see your advertisement. So it had a very wide reach, right? Everybody had the potential to see your advertisement, and that would allow your company to get some form of branding. Also, back then, it was quite cheap in compared to today to run an advertisement, depending on whether you wanted a full-page ad or just a small classified of your job opening. However, when you post a job ad on newspaper, you wouldn't really get the candidate immediately. You'd have to wait for someone to call in or drop an email, depending on your method of recruitment, and you would have to kind of post or publish and pray that the right person would contact you, right? Now, moving away from newspaper, the next most common method would be referrals. Actually, if you ask me, the best way to hire somebody today still is through referrals, right? And I think that's going to change in the future. And there's a reason for that, right? Because when you do a referral, you're talking to a colleague internally and somebody who has understood the company culture, the people out there within that network, and you would be vouching for somebody else that would fit that role. So that credibility would come with that referral. Today, we are moving away from conventional method of just speaking to somebody, but we are actually now able to provide digital referrals as well. You could recommend someone, hey, check out this person's profile. I know this person personally, and you could have a look at them and see whether they fit for the role. That makes referring very easy and very straightforward. Okay, so moving forward, walk-ins. So walk-ins generally still happen today as well. Not popular for most industries. I don't know, when's the last time anybody in the room went for a walk-in interview? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, still happens, right? Not very common. Great on you. I'm sure walk-ins are very nerve-wracking, right? You don't know what you're walking into, right? The disadvantage for walk-in is actually it can be very time-consuming for the team, and it's hit or miss, right? You don't really know who's going to walk into the job interview. You don't know whether or not you're going to get a valuable CV, or even the person who's matching for that role is going to walk into the company as well. So if you think about it today, that still happens. It's still very common for certain roles. Retail, for example, it's not a very high-skilled job, but you want to know whether or not somebody is good at interacting with somebody face-to-face, right? So you need that personalized touch. And that's why roles like retail, hospitality still use walk-in as a method to do recruitment. Not applicable to most roles, but certain roles still valuable. Okay, so now we move away from traditional hiring techniques into more modern techniques. Today we have online job portals. And I'm sure if I ask in the room, how many of you have you applied for a job online? The whole room will be filled with hands up, right? Everybody's applied to a job online today. Then we also look at social media recruitment. This is a bit more unique. Everyone says they know how to do it, but the truth is only a handful of people really know how to do social media recruitment, right? And thirdly, we're moving to the era of AI. When we move towards AI, there's actually a value here to be interviewed by or to be screened by an AI tool. But there's also a devaluable part of it. Imagine if you're a candidate and a bot is deciding whether or not you fit for the role or not. I'm sure a part of your ego may be slightly scratched. If the bot says you don't fit, what do you mean? Why not, right? Well, we'll dive into it a bit more. Okay, so let's dive into online job portals first. I hear there's a lot of benefits for online job portals, and my company LinkedIn is one of the more common, favorable online job portals in a sense. I wouldn't really call us a job portal per se. We do have jobs as part of the platform, but we're more of a professional network, right? So instead of just applying for jobs, we're a bit more unique than other companies in the sense that we also provide you the ability to network and connect to mentors and learn from others. So you don't have to use it just to apply for jobs, but you can use it to maybe build your network and get referrals or get referred to a job. Build your network as well as follow companies and understand what they're doing and whether or not your profile fits to their organization or their jobs as well. Okay, moving forward. How many of you are familiar with applicant tracking systems? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Believe it or not, in my role today, when I talk to HR practitioners around Malaysia and about hiring, only a handful of them really know what this means or what this is. It's actually a system built for in-house HR to process and screen candidates. And if you think about where AI is going to impact the most, it is these systems. They're going to be taking information from current employees, taking current information from market outside there, and determining what jobs will be the right one, or sorry, which candidates will be the right one for each job. And that will drive an increased and more effective screening process. Now, if you think about it, as that moves forward, and this is what question I get a lot from HR practitioners, they always ask me, how accurate is the data on LinkedIn for candidates? Because if we're going to rely on AI, we rely on data sources. So the honest answer to that is, it's as accurate as a resume or a profile. Now, when you're writing your own resume and profile, how many of you believe you write 100% accurate resumes and profiles? It's never going to be 100% accurate. So my advice for you is, when you're preparing a CV or resume, think about the last job you're going to have. That may sound a bit weird. What do you mean the last job? The last job meaning before you retire, what role are you working towards? If you ask somebody what's your dream job, it's very hard to answer that question. But if you rephrase it and think, what's the last job I'm going to have before I retire, you can kind of get a better picture, right? What do you want to do before you finish working and relax at 60 or 50 or 40, depending how effective you are at what you do? You might retire early, but what's the last job you want to have? And then build your resume and your credibility to move towards that direction. If you start working towards the last step, you understand where you need to begin. And that will help the systems identify what role you would fit into. And with your skill sets, you can achieve your last job. Okay, moving forward a bit more. So AI, when you move into AI, it's going to screen your resumes. So make sure you get the data as accurate as you can. And then it's going to match you to the jobs. This is very complex, as easy as I make it sound, actually, right? So when you look at your resume, there are so many data points. There's your experience, the words you use, the things you achieved, your hobbies, your preferences, right? Now, there are things that are irrelevant to certain jobs as well. Gender, that doesn't matter, right? Age, does it really matter what your age is for a job? What matters is your ability to do the task and how effective you are at it. So make sure when you're writing your resume, you are writing the content that matters. Leave out your favorite color. You can leave out your maybe pet's name or if you've done a swimming course, right? Unless it is a swimming job, then maybe you can put it in. Okay. So if you think about that, the ethical consideration here is when you're putting down your information on a CV, we, or I would say my customers, the HR practitioners, have to be very thoughtful about what criteria we're setting in for the role. And LinkedIn is one of the organizations, we are pushing forward to an era of skills first, right? So your abilities matter more than your race, your gender, your age. What you can do matters most when it comes to roles. Okay, so as we move towards the future hiring trends, we're going to see a lot more gamification in roles. And that means you're going to see assessments that are fun to complete. Right now, if you've gone through a job application and there's assessment, it's usually Q&A, can be quite boring. We're going to move towards leaderboards, towards gamifying the way we measure and assess candidates. Second of all, we'll see, and we're already seeing it today, remote hiring. I myself am a remote hire. My boss is in Singapore. I work in Malaysia. So in that sense, we're going to see that a lot more in the future era. And lastly, diversity and inclusion. When you focus on skills first, then who you are as an individual matters second. What matters first is your abilities. I think secondly, not to discount who you are, but we're going to be looking at culture, right? So whether your personality and your culture beliefs and values fit with the organization will come secondary. All right. So let's talk a bit more about benefits of remote hiring. As you look into remote hiring, it will actually open up, for most organizations, a wider talent pool, right? So if you were thinking back maybe 10 to 15, 20 years ago, most of the hires would be Malaysian only, or only in Petaling Jaya, or maybe only in Kuala Lumpur candidates, right? I only want somebody in my local area because if it's too far, they may not come on time, or they may not be interested to work there. But today, in the era of technology, that doesn't matter anymore. We can be based at home and be delivering results from home as well. So that's going to create a wider talent pool and skills that we can now onboard into the organization. But with that comes its own set of challenges, right? So time zones, right? It's not good for you to be working graveyard shift per se. Or if you're thinking a bit more about the roles that you're going to be promoting, have you thought about how remote work will impact the task? Some roles need more collaboration than others, right? I can't be customer facing if I'm at home actually, right? Physically. Or maybe if I remember we were talking about this when during COVID, my manager, one of my ex-companies, they told me, we need to hire tower engineers to climb up towers and fix tower sites. And then one of the managers asked, can be remote now? So like, if the guy's at home, how is he going to climb tower, right? So some roles, this doesn't make sense for you to hire remotely. Okay, so we'll see that coming forward and forward, but HR is actually at the precipice of deciding what roles may be hybrid, what roles are remote, and what roles have to be on-site. Okay, so we're gonna, good time? Oh, I got more time, all right, okay, go ahead. So I'm just gonna wrap it up quickly. So we're gonna leave, I'm gonna leave you two things here, right? First of all, we're gonna shift away from the perception of human biases, and we're gonna move to an era of skills and potential. And as that takes place, I want you to take one key takeaway from today's session, if possible, from this whole session actually, is that, and maybe I'll share my example as a case scenario. These slides were drafted 20 minutes ago, well, 20 minutes yesterday, with AI. I didn't really spend, and not to discount my effort for all of you, it's just that I wanted to see how good was the AI. So I drafted it with AI, and it took me 20 minutes to do. Back 5 to 6 years ago, this kind of presentation would take you an hour or 2 hours minimum, right? So that will take away a lot of time requirement from you. So if AI is coming to the era of building presentations and helping you do things smarter, what's your value? It's going to be how you use the AI. It's not here to replace you, it's here to augment you. And if you move towards that direction, think about the skills that it will be valuable for you to polish and develop to leverage AI. Now, that kind of rolls into my second point. Technology is going to be a dominant factor when it comes to the era of employment. And if you're thinking about it, how do you position yourself online, visually, and professionally for others to see and evaluate you, your credibility, your skills, your abilities. And if you don't have an updated LinkedIn profile today, come and talk to me after this or connect to me on LinkedIn and I'll help you brush up your profile. All right? Thank you.
Taking questions. Any questions if you'd like?
Yeah, feel free if you want to ask me any questions. Oh, interesting. I wish, no, actually I'm paid local current rate, right? So I'm paid with the local Malaysian economic standard rate. Okay, but it's a good question. I guess it depends. I do know some of my friends who work for companies in Europe, but they work odd hours. They do get paid in euro. However, because they get paid from an external bank into their Malaysian account, tax becomes a bit more complicated. So there are pros and cons to that too. Cool, good question. Show me the money report. Yeah. Sorry, maybe you can clarify the question a bit more.
What job role? How much you get paid after how many years? So that people planning out their journey can figure out. I mean, it's nice to think about your last job, but we would like to think about how much your last job is paying you.
Great question. Actually, I have a two-part answer to this. The first part is actually for LinkedIn per se. We are working towards that. It's not a mandatory requirement for us today. In the US, some states require you to publish the job with the price tag, right, of what you're going to pay for the role. And one practice in Malaysia is always asking the candidate, what was your last pay, right? And then they would kind of measure whether the role is attractive to you or not. But I have a different opinion on this. My opinion on pay is actually a bit more holistic in that sense. I would say, don't worry about the money when you're taking a job. And I'll be honest with you, right? The reason why I say that is because the money is a symptom to your performance. If you're really good at what you do, you can be paid a lot of money, right? And I'll give you an example to that, right? There's a very popular boxer named Mike Tyson, right? He started out as a very junior boxer. I'm sure he wasn't paid a lot of money. But at the end of his career, he was one of the top paid fighters in history. And all he did was just focus on that one skill, which is boxing, as an example, right? So if you think about it, your money will always come as a symptom to your performance and efforts. So focus on the trade and the skill that you're going to be refining, and the money will come later. Love the question, though. All right, any other questions? No? We're good?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muslim, for that very insightful talk. Next, please welcome Rico Ho, founder of CRN Solutions in Dear Berhad, on sustaining the spark, overcoming obstacles in the entrepreneurial spirit. Welcome, Rico.
Hi, good morning, everybody. While waiting for the technical thing, I have a demo ready. It's very, very bad of me. I always want to do demos whenever I do talks. And that's because that's what I do. I'm a software writer, and that makes me always want to show off my work, I apologize. So because of that, I need to get my phone connected. It's going to be around AI and everything. So there's a little bit of interference going by. So while I can actually go in and do that. Okay, we do need to do some technical thing. Okay, so, whoops, wrong screen. See, Murphy's Law, I should always be the first one. Usually I'm the first one. Oh, by the way, let me advertise. I run the, anyone heard of AMS? AMS event, Azure, Microsoft 365, and SharePoint. I've been running the event for the last 5 years. Throughout, we have reached close to around 3,500 people. We invite some of the best speakers from around the world, because I've been going around the world. I make a lot of friends, and they come and speak in my event every year, together with Fidelis. Where are they? They're not here. Okay, so we actually run this event. We take over the entire floor on October 23rd. And as a result, that gives me the ability to share my love of technology with everybody. Because I have also been running around the world talking about software. I'm probably the first Microsoft partner in Malaysia to ever showcase my technology in the US. So thank you. Yeah. So I've done a fair bit of work. While we're still waiting for that, I have to try to entertain everybody. So I came this in a really accidental. So I'm going to talk about my story. I wanted to be an engineer, an aeronautical engineer, but then I graduated on the wrong semester. So I followed my girlfriend then to a little university called University of Guelph, and I did next best thing, engineering. And engineering nearly killed me. I got my first mark was, I think it was like 48, and I begged and begged, and I managed to pass it, So I said, ooh, that's no good. I'm not good at engineering. So I went into psychology. People are easier to deal with people, Darn it, it didn't work out as well, right? Oh, I can start now, okay. So that's me, Rico. That's me winning the Apicta Award a long time ago. So I too went to AI to find out what is it that you need to do to be able to prosper in the age of AI. And as a fresh graduate and a student, I realized there's no fresh graduates. They're all quite experienced workers. And they came up with these 5 points, what AI will tell you. So I want to congratulate you. So whether you're going into the area of academia, the first thing you're going to realize is that there are things that AI don't teach you, right? And for starter, you need to understand what we call observe the path. Every place you go, the terrain is different, the environment is different. When I was young, I was only thinking about what I want to do. I never thought about who let me do things. So I'm going to share with you, that is my most painful lesson in life, right? It's about knowing the terrain, knowing who makes the rule, right? And along the way, you will find a lot of companions who can help you. How many of you have a mentor? 1, 2, 3, okay. And the rest of you? Bumbling around like me. I bumble around. That was all I did, right? And if you can see me, I don't walk straight, okay? And then, in fact, I'm like a robot. I have a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. And I was in so much pain that I can't even stand straight. So for a lot of people, they think about a lot of things they pray for. I pray to be able to stand straight. And fortunately, it has improved me a bit, but I used to be like this. So it was a tough. So your body is actually a very important part of your thing, And one of the things I realized is that never think nothing goes as planned. And your only survivor ability is your ability to learn and pivot, change. Take what you know, learn something else, change. Take it along with you, right? And more importantly, you must have, people talk about a good mindset, crowd. Important thing, you must have a support base. The biggest mistake you can ever make is finding the wrong spouse. It's the most painful one. It's the most expensive one, next to buying a house, okay? So you got to realize this, Yeah. So once again, I started my journey in a very cold winter town called University of Guelph, which is 20 minutes from Waterloo. Everybody knows where Waterloo. Nobody knows where Guelph is. Guelph is the 18-year running top all-round university in Canada, but a lot of people don't know that. When I started, what the machines we have. This is a picture of a wax, PDP-11. Right? I see some gentlemen smiling. We use this. Anyone know what's this? Morse code. It's a punch card. We didn't have keyboard. Right? We didn't have keyboard, And way back after that, we used this thing called floppy drive. Why was it called floppy drive? Anyone knows why it's called floppy drive? Huh? Because it's actually floppy. Until the 3.5 inch, you can wave it around. It's called floppy drive, right? So it's quite interesting. This guy, anybody knows who's this guy? Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple. Do you know who is he? He's actually the cousin to this guy, Vladimir Dobosevich, my professor. He's the ranked number 6 in the world in the area of Go. You know, the big Alpha Go? He was way back then. And he was actually my landlord as well. So I had a really, really good start. You would imagine, right? And everything goes in. And the thing is that being a young guy, hey, we can do everything on our own. I never thought, hey, can you get an internship or a job for me from your cousin? Do you know who I would be? Who? So I can tell you the lessons I learned. First thing is, I didn't know shit. Not only know anything, I didn't know anything, So very interesting, How my journey is full of obstacles, right? Oops, sorry. And when I look at the teachers, they were helping me to just get my grades. I never saw beyond that, right? Harvard, this business school did a research, and they actually went and placed a smart person into a room of smarter people. And then they observe. And they realize this guy improved his performance by, anyone chance? 14%. Not bad, right? Then they did another similar experiment. Take this guy, put in a room, don't say dumb lah, lesser people, right? What do you think happened to his performance? Went down. How much? Minus 34%. Look around you, If you think you are the smartest person in this room, please leave. Because you're in the wrong room. We don't want to bring you down. But that's the reality, You have to do that. So what did I do with my skills? I wrote program. I built the first money market foreign exchange training program for Malaysia. I worked with Bank Negara. I trained all 38 banks, including the Bank of Indonesia and Bank of Thailand. Did I do anything with it? I know everybody in the trading house. Dr. Zeti actually was one of my students. Oh, sorry, she was not my student. She was one of my participants in my training. At that time was Mohammad No. I know all these people, but I never did anything with it. They were just participants like you and me, like here today, And that's the thing. So I then did something that I thought everybody needed, accounting system. I created a software called AccountStar. How imaginative, right? At that time, anybody know what is WordStar? Yeah, see, so to people who knows the WordStar, I know how old you are. All the young people there, they don't know about what WordStar, right? So we did AccountStar, and then we trained to all the universities, and I traveled around the whole nation helping companies and university adopt accounting because it was in. And then I got bored. I went into CRM. In 1999, we pulled the plug on our fax machine. And we went around telling people, everybody goes paperless. 1999. How many of you were not born yet? So that's what I actually did, right? And so I did business in Malaysia doing what we call hustling, doing software that I did, right? And then we came into this little thing called SharePoint. And I built a solution in SharePoint and got the notice of Microsoft. And then suddenly, I'm all over the world, right? I have. If you look at my customers, they are like the wish list. ABC, Amway, BMW, Barrick is actually the largest gold company in the world. They're actually my client in Perth, right? Georgia Tech of University, Georgia Tech? Every year they get $160 million in grant for research. Okay, Northern Territory. If you want a license, if you want a trade license, you have to go through my system, right? Henneken, anything from billboards to skirt on premise, you go through my system. So all this we were actually doing for these people. So I actually spoke from Seattle all the way to Wellington, New Zealand, and everybody in between. How did it happen? Microsoft. I became a partner. And it just changed the way I look at it. So here are the things that I learned, right? Software is a big boy's business. Oh, I forgot to ask this question. How many of you can code? Right? How many of you want to be a programmer? So less hands up. How many of you want to build a business using programming as a tool? Okay, so I'm talking to all of you. Okay, I forgot to address the room, right? So essentially, according to Microsoft, and these are things I found out when I go to the US, right? A small business, what's the definition of a small business? What do you think is the definition of a small business? In terms of employee count?
Less than 100.
Huh? Less than 100. Less than 50. Any taker? 2 or 3, okay. In Microsoft, the definition of a small business is anybody who is less than 5,000. You are a small business. I didn't know that when I went, but I know now, right? If you run an event, if you have 1,000 people, it's a small event. The event I go to is like 15,000, 20,000, and every time I go and speak, Jeff Teeper, this guy on the left, Jeff Teeper, he's actually the vice president of Microsoft. The other guy is Jared Sparato. He handles the entire Office 365. That one is Duck Size Raymond. He is now the enterprise guy for FPoint. All my good friends, people that I know from a very, very influential people. Yeah. But their definition of business is completely different than mine. If you want to do a collaboration with Microsoft, which was what I was trying to do, right? Because I have this big idea, big software. I didn't realize the entry level for discussion is that you must have at least a revenue of 1 million, 10 million, 100 million US. I was telling you, if I have 100 million US, I wouldn't waste my time coming and talking to you guys. But that was the entry level. So it's really, really a big business. That's why when they talk about, right now, anybody knows how much money has been poured into investment for AI? Anybody knows? Take a guess. How much money has been put in for AI investment? Huh? 2.6 billion. You have to change the alphabet. It's actually 2 trillion. What is the realizable right now, the market worth for software, for AI? Do you know what is the revenue? 300 billion, right? So you are talking about people spending $2,000 to go after a $300 thing. It's a bubble. You guys have to be really understand that this is not sustainable, right? But having said that, you must understand that you need to build trust. And that's what everybody is doing. Right now, how many of you are using ChatGPT? Right? Wow, everybody in the room. How many of you are paying for ChatGPT? Wow, great. Thank you. They need your support because you are the only guy who is keeping everybody else alive. I go around Malaysia teaching everybody on AI, and I teach them how to use all the free AI. And Copilot, of course, since I'm in Microsoft, right? Because it's very important to understand the reality of it, right? And what I realized is actually your value is determined on your clients. So I know some of you are doing internship in big companies, and it's the right move because it goes into a different environment, right? So mentally, right, in the history of mankind, I would say the 300 years, right? Starvation was the #1 killer. Are you aware of that? Therefore, it's hardwired in us to actually gorge whenever we see salty, sugary food. We don't know why we love food, but it's innate in ourselves, right? Accessible mating opportunities. 80% of women reproduce. Only 40% of men reproduce. that means there's a scarcity, you know. That's why guys need to strut around and act for this concept of appearing attractive to our potential aides. I need to drive a Maserati. The chicks will dig me, you know, the kind of thinking. Now, all these are being used, you know. It leads to obesity. It leads to overconsumption. Too much time on our phone, our devices, scrolling for dopamine hits. And this is actually the thing, you know. That's why the faster you realize the institution such as Facebook, Amazon, Lazada, Shopee, TikTok are actually capitalizing on our weakness, our inherent DNA, you know, right? So until you are aware of that and you take care of yourself, you will find that the life as an entrepreneur is going to be really, really tough. And you need to really have the best of your body working at your capability to do so. Yeah. So, and that comes by having a positive mindset, right? The biggest potential that you have today is your mind, right? So how you maintain and develop is important. But wait. Hey, isn't AI supposed to do this? Right? Is AI going to take our job? How many people think AI is going to take over your job? Nobody. Yay. Not yet. So how about the skills you take to learn? Remember the 10,000 hours? Everybody needs to do the 10,000 hours, right? It's suddenly now people can actually do it. What's going to happen to all your skill sets? How do you prepare for the future? So in the interest of AI, I'm introduced to this concept of the creative generalists, right? So today, when you go to LinkedIn and get a job, they will evaluate you based on your skills. I got it right, right? But, so I want to hire a copywriter. I look at their creativity and their writing skills. But now with AI, what about their adjacent possibilities? What else they can actually do, Say, for example, if they have a love for photography, suddenly they can tell you things like composition, lighting, depth of field. There's one word, bokeh. Anybody know what bokeh means? Or must be a photographer, right? So all these terms are the same terms as used to train your AI, like DALL-E Mid Journey. And if you can describe it, suddenly you can do fantastic graphic like what Muslim did, right? In fact, your concept of music, your concept of arts, all your interest in movies helps you to become a better storyteller, right? So now you are no longer a copywriter. You are a storyteller, videographer, in fact, an advertising professional because of the fact you have AI. So this is the key thing, Any interest that you can do will end up as a tool in your arsenal box to do more. In fact, if you don't have it, you can bring in people with diversity, right? And have this thing called just-in-time skill sets. And this is actually very important. That's why all people who are doing HR application tracking and all this software, are you tracking their personal interests? Do you know who can speak German? All the different kind of things, because you're going to need that, right? That's the key point. So if you invested in education, you're going to look at the possibility. So a lot of us are thinking, hey, I'm the guy, right? These are all the tasks human can do, right? Today, there's a black box. AI wants a piece of that action, right? And they're going to come in. My question is, how many people think this black box is going to increase? Will it overwhelm everything that we can do? Will there be a day, AGI, whereby human is irrelevant and we're going to have a universal basic income? And thank you very much. Play games every day and get drone to deliver our food, right? So this is what he was talking about. Intelligence augmentation. Don't think about AI, think about IA, right? What are the new tasks people can do with the help of AI? And this is actually the most important thing, right? You got to look at it from a different perspective, right? AI is going to change the way, and you have to have a very open mind into it. So this is the part where I do my training, my demonstration. Do I have enough time to do them? Anyone want to see demonstration on AI at work? Okay, let's see. Give me a sec. Okay. Oops, connect. Come on, loading. Do you know how to connect your phone to your computer? It's supposed to work this way. See? Murphy's Law. Oh no. Okay, you gotta just trust me that I can do it using my phone. I want to use my phone because actually I'm using Teams, right? Oh. But they can see my Teams, right? Oh. Sorry. Okay, sure. I can need to just pull it over, right? Can I?
Sometimes when we the screen. No, I can't.
Or maybe we just switch over to.
It's not bringing me to the other screen.
You're going to the other screen. Just duplicate the screen. Can we duplicate the screen?
Well, I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Hang on, let me see. No,
Okay, it's in there.
because
Yeah,
I need
sure.
to check whether the online.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
there's also the online audience. Let me just check. Which one is it on Teams?
This is on Team, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Let me check the online audience.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Sure. Okay, let's see everything works. So we built a chatbot using Azure OpenAI. And we can actually put all kinds of stuff onto it. So for example, if I go into my security,
Because the online audience still seeing the.
oh, okay,
Yes.
sorry. So anyway, today, if you put in AI working to your organization, it's 100% useless if all the information that you are going is coming from the net. Your job is to sell your product, sell your services, sell your people, right? So one of the best way to do is using this thing called RAG, R-A-G, retrieval augmented generation. And we turn our SharePoint line, and we turn it into a small language model and use it to get answers. So when the answers comes in, we link it back to our people, and we link it back to our process, and we link it back to our products. So that's how we actually use that. So we may not be able to see that. Understand. Yeah. Unfortunately, I will have to describe that to you. So that's one of the things we did. We turned a SharePoint library into a chatbot so that you can actually get information about your product. And it works really much more well. So we actually help educators to put in the curriculum. So they ask, what is the prerequisite for taking computer CS 32045? And the system will come up. Because today, people don't read. People read, they also forget. And they want instant answer. Don't give me a document. Don't give me a page. Give me a paragraph. And that's what AI is very, very good at. Oh, it's here. Wow, really making it tough for them. Oh, okay. So once I come in here, I can come in and say, anybody here in cybersecurity? Anybody doing cybersecurity? Give me a cybersecurity question. Any that you think the rest of us will not know. And I'm sure there's a lot we don't know. Anyway, if you can't think of it, what is DKIM? what is DKIM? Oops. So DKIM, if you are in cybersecurity, you will know it's called Domain Key Identifier Mail, right? And then I link it to actually a file. And with this file, I can actually link it to the people, right? So that is the important part about it. The other thing that you can actually do, I can connect it to other sources. So I come and say, what? Show me today's sales for Mid Valley outlet. Oops. Did I get it? Oops. I should actually try, you know. I should actually try. Yeah? Okay. Okay. I can't see. Yeah. Okay. Show me today's sales for Mid Valley outlet. Okay. So essentially what it does is that I'm using it to unlock what we call natural language so that we don't have to deal with syntax and the answer will come in. Click on the view dashboard. Yeah. And boom, it will come out into Power BI. So you have all your data right in there. And then with all the bells and whistles that you would expect, right? So of course, the whole idea is that now it's what we call is linked, you know, it's live and stuff like that. So when we look at this whole concept, it becomes very, very important, right? So because in the interest of time, I will switch back to my talk, right? And figure out these things. Okay. So I actually wanted to show you, I use it to actually handle my support ticket because in a support ticket, there's a lot of email. I use it to analyze my entire thing and summarize it for me. One of my coolest thing I do is actually automating meetings. So for example, I organize interviews, and when I do interview, I will send them actually interview questionnaire, right? And then they will actually do the meeting, and everything is actually analyzed. And I will summarize it, and I will even do sentiment analysis after the meeting. And all they need to do is nothing. They just need to schedule the meeting on Teams, and when we finish, the report will be emailed to the organizer. So these are things that we're actually doing that is pretty fun, you know, in that particular area. So how will AI change your future? Right? These are the lists, right? I think all of you know that you're going to be expected to work faster. How long it took you to build that slides, right? So that's why you need Copilot. You can't do it without Copilot because he's using a PowerPoint, right? So unfair advantage, Microsoft, right? All of you who are paying, who are using the free ChatGPT, have to learn cut and paste. So new jobs were around, you know. I've been actually going around the nation teaching people how to use the phone as a device. And I train business leaders. I teach them how to speak, present a whole talk in Mandarin, something that they are not familiar with, something that I can't do. I actually presented to the Associated Chinese Chamber of Commerce, and entirely using my phone, right? And because I'm banana, as you can see, right? So today, your people are expected to work with AI, regardless or not. So a lot of companies, if you do not know AI, your job is going to be taken over by people who use AI. So all of you must take the advantage to actually into this area. So as a result, business leaders need to understand the ethics of AI. AI will get things wrong. all the time. Sometimes they're right, but most of the time, they're right. But they will get it wrong sometime, But the fact is that for business, trust, remember earlier? So you must always have this thing called human in the loop in your processes. And what is important is this thing called creative and strategic and interpersonal skills. These are the skills that's going to matter the most. The ability to come out and talk as if I belong here, even though I don't, right? I'm a imposter syndrome, But that's the thing, you have to be comfortable. So otherwise, when I go to Seattle and I open my mouth, when I go to Auckland, when I go to Sydney, I open my mouth, they're going to look at me, oh, this guy is Chinese fella, So you have to have that confidence to be able to hold your court, Right? So these are very critical things. Yeah. So, oops. This is supposed to be a conversation, right? What questions do you have about your future in terms of AI and software that I can actually be of help, right? Q&A time, right?
I have a question about the technology stack that you used to build that chat component in Microsoft Teams.
Okay, so very good question. We use the Microsoft Chat framework. On top of that, we actually use OpenAI service, right? So one of the cool thing about it is that the OpenAI service is actually consumption-based. So it's actually very affordable. Do you want to know how much it costs to process 1 hour of meeting? Bill, tell me what are the key words, what are the key points taken, what are the decision made, and that next action, and do sentiment analysis. How much will it cost to do 1 hour of meeting? Anyone want to guess? $1. $1. Anybody willing to do it for $1? Huh? $10, right? Actually, it costs 50 cents. So, 50 cents US dollar. Yeah. All my calls, I actually, if you notice carefully, I have a metering. Because there was one day I decided to be funny. I tried to get a bot talking to a bot. And within, I think, 3 hours, I burned 700 US dollar. And I realized. So with that, last question before we go for a break, right? Oh, we have a next. Yeah. Any last question? Any more questions?
Yeah, I have one question about tech as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Thanks. So, like you said, the tech is based on OpenAI's API and also the chat on Teams
Framework, yeah.
The framework. I also realized that Microsoft has Copilot Studio,
Yes.
which also can achieve something similar.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So does your tech also leverage Copilot, or is just completely on OpenAI?
We can support Copilot. Yeah, we definitely can support Copilot as well. The key word, actually, the art of building AI software is not about AI. It's about using AI. The most important thing is plumbing. How do I connect the data into the tool? So what Copilot does is Copilot Studio gives you a whole set of connectors. Unfortunately, we started way before Microsoft started to sell it. So we have all the connectors already. So as a result, I'm not sure I want to pay that money when I can actually do it out of the box. But you're right. It's the benefit of Copilot Studio is that the connectors are readily available. So it actually saves you a lot of time. Yeah. For us, we have actually done all the plumbing because we have been working with SharePoint and Microsoft 365 for the last 20 years. So we know what's going on the inside. But good question.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions? Then we invite okay. Thank you so much. Okay, right. Don't forget, October 23rd here, right? We have a big conference coming. So you want to talk to all the smarter people than me, right? I guarantee you they're smarter than me. That's why I invite them into my room. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Because then I have to get out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I'd like to express our collective gratitude for that profound discussion. Thank you so much, Rico. Sure. All right, so now we will set the stage for the next segment. We will have 3 invited speakers from Aventra Group to speak on how you can launch your career with their new Next Gen Apprenticeship program. So our first speaker, Ramindra Rajaram, Vice President Enterprise Applications at Aventra Group, will give us a brief introduction of the company. And then our second speaker, Firdaus Fauzi, Lead Data Science at Aventra Group, will be sharing his experience working in the company. All right. And our third speaker, Sheila Mani, Head of People and Culture at Aventra Group, will share the details of their Next Gen Apprenticeship program and how you can be a part of it. Just give me a moment while we... I'd also like to remind our audience during the Q&A session to raise their hand so that our team can hand over the mic so that our online audience can hear your questions as well. All right, thank you so much for your patience, everyone. I'll now hand over to the first speaker, Ramindra.
Yeah. Test. Everyone can hear me? It's like online call, right? Everyone can hear me, right? Okay. Good morning, everyone here and also online. Hope everyone can hear and see me clearly. So I think first of all, thanks to the other speakers. I think it was very interesting hearing, especially Mr. Rico. Nice story from you. Thanks, Mr. Muslim, also. So Aventra Group, I will start off with an introduction for myself first. Give you all a bit of story, since we listened to Mr. Rico's story, a bit of story for myself to introduce myself. And then I will speak about Aventra Group, give an overview of our company. And then we will pass on to Firdaus, also one of our staff, and also to our Head of People and Culture, Ms. Sheila Mani. Okay. So I'll give you a company overview. Before that, introduction to myself. So I've been working for about 20 years in the IT industry. I started off, I know just now we asked the question, if anyone is interested in being a developer. Well, I started off as a developer. Reason being, most of the IT people, when we graduated at our time, everyone starts as a developer. Okay, they had no other choice, right? Everyone puts you as a developer, whether it's a Java developer, whether it's this, like I was an SAP developer at that particular point. But over the years, I've worked in various other roles as I move forward in my career. I was a technical consultant. I was a business consultant or functional consultant in the finance side. I was also a business development manager. I ran my own company for a while. At that time was the mobile apps boom. So then I went back to the workforce. And currently my role in Aventra Group is actually the Vice President of Enterprise Applications, which covers a few areas, including Microsoft. So what did I learn over the time during my career? And what will be relevant as what we were discussing as in the age of AI. People will always be there, right? So as we go, AI takes on processes, takes on and automates processes, but people will always we will always need to either lead people, we always need to manage people. So that is very important, right? One of the things is leadership and strategy. In any company or any business that we do, every time leadership, how you lead your team, how you strategize your business, how you strategize managing the people in your team to achieve a goal. That's very important, right? Enterprise solutions, okay? Understanding the different technologies that are out there currently, right? As we grow, as we progress, right? 10 years ago, mobile apps was a big thing. Now mobile apps is like, it's a norm everywhere. Now AI is the big thing. In 10 years' time, we don't know what's the next thing. So we got to keep in touch with what's the latest. So understanding each enterprise solutions as we go is very important. Team management. As you grow in your career, you will realize managing people This one, AI will have a tough time doing, right? Managing people's emotions, people's attitude, people's motivating people. That's the very important part as we go grow in our career. Business development. Everyone needs to do business. Everyone runs a business. So how are you going to help another company or another person grow in their business, in their activities, and so on? And what do you call this? Project success. As we go in our career, especially when we start off, also always have a goal that you want to achieve. That's why I talk about project success. Every time when we have a goal, when we work towards achieving that particular goal, that's very important. Looks like I forgot to introduce my name. Sorry. So my name is Ramindra. Yeah, you can call me Ram. So people normally call me Ram, but my current company, there's a lot of Rams. So people call me in a different name. Yeah. All right. So next, I'll talk about Aventra Group, right? I've been in Aventra Group for 7 months, but I've learned so much with the experience being in Aventra Group. It seems like I'm there 7 years already. So, okay. So we are based out of Wisma UA Damansara, very near an MRT station. So, good place to work. So what do we do, right? We do, I would say we do 2 main areas. We develop digital solutions. At the same time, we provide end-to-end IT services. So we have a managed services team that run 24/7, that we have end-to-end IT services. We cover across the spectrum of IT. Enterprise applications, cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, data management, advanced analytics, AI, and even application development. Actually, our head of software engineering is here, Mr. Steve, who we cover, when we say head application development, we cover all application development, .NET, what you call this, Java, and so on. We do a lot of things with Microsoft together with AI. We are developing things on Copilot using Copilot Studio. And later on, you'll listen to one of our team members who is in actually the data science part, and how we utilize Azure for it, right? So that's what we do. How we do it, or how we achieve it to support our customers. We have offices in Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, UAE, India. Currently, we have about 300 people. We are still hiring a lot. If you see us on LinkedIn, we are really looking for a lot of people. So please apply for us. Thank you. Right. So how we do things, or what we try to achieve for our customers. We have extensive experience. So what you gain, or what we have in our company is, because we are across many countries, our people are very diverse and very experienced. So you get to learn a lot from different people, from different types of experiences, from different types of organizations that they have worked with, and so on. So we always try to achieve for our company and also for our customers, operational excellence and also cost rationalization. Everyone wants to reduce cost. Whether it's in Malaysia, whether it's in UK, whether it's in South Africa, they all want to reduce cost, right? So that's what we try to help our customers do. We always try to, the other thing we do is we create solutions or digital solutions. How we do this? For example, one of the things that we have is we were focusing a lot on the maritime industry. We have a digital maritime team developing solutions specifically for the maritime industries. So these are some of the solutions that we do. On a partnership perspective, we are a Microsoft partner. Currently, we are data and AI partner, and together with a digital and app innovation partner. We are also achieving other partnerships before the end of this year on a Microsoft perspective. We are also an SAP partner. We are also a Salesforce partner. And we have certifications with ISO 27001, SOC 2 Type 2, and we are GDPR compliant, right? So security is a big thing in our company, and we emphasize a lot on that. So in our company, how we approach our work style, or what we do when we actually go to customers. First thing is strategic consulting and implementation. We don't go to customers just to sell a particular solution or tell you like, okay, why don't you just buy Microsoft? Why don't you buy SAP or so on? We go in on a consulting mindset. We come up with strategic roadmaps with the customers So that's where people who join us, you experience this, understanding how do you consult, because consult is how you get close and understand what is actually the real pain point of customers, right? So we always adopt a consultative approach, then we leverage the technologies. You see, people always go, some people go directly to technology, right? So we focus on looking at the human impact first, How do you talk to the customer to understand their real pain point before doing that, right? And then next is focus on security and compliance. We focus, like I mentioned earlier, we had a lot of certifications in that, and we try to see how to utilize AI and ML for automation to make sure that our operations run efficiently and so on. And we always emphasize to empowering organizational growth within us and also our customers. Okay, and the next is on the approach, we follow the DevOps approach. So we actually do development. We have a managed services team that does that, and also we have a testing team. So across this is how we actually help our customers progress in whatever development that we're doing, and so on. We focus on advising, building, managing, optimizing, and also innovating for all our customers. Okay, so that's basically overview of our company. Now to give you a bit of experience of how working with Aventra is, I'll pass over to one of our actually shining stars in our company, Mr. Firdaus. Okay, so he will give you a brief on how is it to work and how he started off his journey in working, and how is it to work in Aventra Group. Okay, thank you.
All right. Am I up? All right, everyone. Okay, good. All right, thanks everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to share my story in what's life like in Aventra. All right. I thought that doing this virtually wouldn't trigger my anxiety, but unfortunately, it feels like it's not. All right. So please excuse me if I'm a little bit jittery today. All right, guys. All right. About this anxiety, I was thinking to myself, perhaps it would be better if I, could quickly spin up a real-time generative AI with Azure AI speech, and then I can just take a back seat and then sip my coffee and let the virtual me do all the talking for me. But unfortunately, due to time, I guess I don't have the time to do so. So I guess I have to do this manually and go against my anxiety today. All right, so guys, my name is Firdaus Fauzi. I am currently the lead data scientist for Aventra Group, but with more focus towards AI engineering and MLOps implementation. All right, so before I share about what's life like in Aventra, allow me to put a little bit of context on the title of my segment. All right, it is titled From Oil Pipeline to Data Pipeline, and I do mean it literally, not figuratively or not in a business set, literally from oil pipeline to data pipeline. All right, and in the hope that I could paint a picture about what life like in Aventra and why Aventra is actually a great place to be at if you wanted to have a career in the data space or in a digital space. All right, so long before Aventra, I was actually a chemical engineering graduate from University Technology Petronas. And within the first decade of my career, I was working as an operations and process safety engineer with our national oil and gas company. But even since the beginning, right, I've always had deep interest in technology. And during my 4 years of chemical engineering studies, we have a lot of experiments that we have to do. All right, and during these experiments, we have to take a lot of measurements. We have to do a lot of take a lot of observations and everything. But while all my colleagues are doing, trying to understand what the experiment is about, what measurement that we need to take, what observation that we need to be aware of, me in the back end, what I did is we tried to build simple applications that would help my team to execute the experiment much better. So traditionally, right, what people would do when we perform experiment is we take a pen and paper. All right, when we are performing the experiments, once we got the reading, we jot down all the measurements, we jot down all the observations, and then to do the report, but not my team. All right. Back then, what my team do is during performing the experiment, we take out our phones, we take out our tablets, and then once the reading is available to us, what we do is put all the variables into the right place, and then by the time the experiment is over and we walk out from the lab, basically 80% of our job is done. All right. We just need to complete the remaining 20% and then call it away and enjoy the rest of the day. All right. So reflecting on this event led me to rethink my career path, which in 2022 I decided to make a leap of faith and then jump ship from the oil and gas domain to the digital and data domain. And I am blessed enough to have a Ventra who is willing to take me, even though I don't really have any base or any foundation in either computer science or information technology. But with the amazing stuff that we have, with the amazing mentorship that's available, and all the opportunities that you have to work with the clients in Aventra, all right. So basically, Aventra is capable of turning someone like me, all right, who spends their day on looking at diagrams like this, all right, into diagrams like this, all right. And I am going to be brutally honest. It is not an easy journey to do. All right, there's a lot of new technology, new terminology, new concepts that I need to learn. And at the same time, we have the time crunch to deliver our deliverables to the clients, right? But one day I was looking at the diagram, like I noticed one thing. It hits me. All right. Even though the terminology or the technology may be different on the surface, but as we go deep down, what I realize is fundamentally on the basic principles, it's actually very much the same. All right. So hear me out. I give you an example for virtual machines or compute services. All right. At the very core of our data pipelines, compute services is what ensures everything is flowing well. All right. And if we have a bigger size compute service, right, we have better performance, better flow in our data pipeline. This is actually not much different in the oil and gas industry. All right. It's very similar to when we do calculation to size our pumps and compressors, where if we want more flow, we put a bigger pumps or bigger compressor or a higher performing pumps or compressor to get more flow into the system. So same difference. Right. One other example that I can think of is storage system. Right? In the oil and gas industry, we have different type of storage tanks. We have floating roof tanks, we have fixed roof tanks, and we have spherical tanks. All right. So different types of tanks serve different type of purposes depending on what product that you want to store or what properties that the product is. And this is very similar to when we are doing data storage. All right, we have relational database, we have SQL database, we have NoSQL database, object database, file storage systems, and many more, right? And depending on the use case, we choose the right one that fits the purpose of the use case. Again, same difference again. And one last example that I can give is load balancing. All right, load balancing is where we want to regulate the traffic between our solutions so that we don't overload one of the instance and then we don't crash our systems, right? So same principle applies in the oil and gas industry as well, where we have multi-train processing units where we regulate the flow between multiple trains so that one train is not overloaded with the flow and then we don't go over pressure and it goes quite catastrophic. Right? Again, same difference between the two industries. So these are some of the examples that managed me to map the similarities between the two industry, and then help me to understand and perform my duty better in the data domain. All right. So at Aventra, what we do is we have a lot of pipelines that we operate and we design for our clients that comes globally. All right. From a data engineering perspective, we utilize Azure Data Factory as well as Azure Synapse Analytics to create a data orchestration platform, where this data orchestration platform, or DOP in short, pulls data from silo source systems and then bring them into a centralized medallion architecture data warehouse. And then on top of this data warehouse, our client can create aggregated reports which can utilize the available information across the enterprise. All right. So with Azure Machine Learning and Azure AI services, my team, the machine learning and AI engineering team, is able to find correlation between the stored data, and then we couple this correlation to the key performance indicator of an enterprise, which give our clients much more competitive edge in the market that they serve. All right. And then we also have CI/CD pipelines, which is at the core of our business operating model, where our DevOps engineer design and operate these CI/CD pipelines to ensure that we seamlessly and continuously deliver and integrate our solution into the production environment. And then now with the new addition of Microsoft Fabric into the ecosystem, our team is already gearing up and then familiarizing ourselves with the platform, and we are getting ready to serve our clients to make use of all the interesting tools of integrated data services within Fabric, which is a very interesting platform that we are really looking forward to serve our client with it. So what's the point of me sharing of all this story about me in Aventra today, right? So the point is not for me to do shameless self introduction about myself or my journey in my career life, and neither if I wanted to increase my following. That's not the point that I'm sharing all this story. All right, the reason I am sharing this story is because Aventra is really a great place for everyone who wants to grow their journey or grow their career in a data space or in the digital domain space. And then my colleague Sheila over there has a very interesting announcement to make, where everything that I've shared, every experience that I've gained here in Aventra is actually available for you to grab. So without further ado, I would like to invite Sheila to the stage so that she can let you know how you can also be part of the team, enjoy every exciting experience that's available here in Aventra. So without further ado, let's welcome Sheila to the stage. Sheila, over to you.
Okay, good morning, guys. Thank you, Firdaus, for sharing his wonderful story. So for me, right, the feeling is like coming back home after so long. So for some of you, how many of you know me? Okay, of course. Okay, I saw Suzari just now, right? So Meet community has been around since April 2022, right? So it's very close to my heart, and Shauki is doing a fantastic job by continuing this community. So welcome all. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Sheila Mani. I'm the head of people and culture at Aventra Group. Okay. So the reason why we are here, like Ram and Ram explained, we are a technology partner of Microsoft. So Microsoft is our business as well. Okay. And of course, as a people and culture person and coming from a training background, I see that the energy level in this room has gone down, right? So now, can I just quickly get everyone to stand up? And probably do a wave from right to left, and then from left to right, and another round of right. Hands. Right, thank you very much. And folks online, I hope you guys are doing great as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Right, so I want to share with you guys a very exciting story. So not so much of stories about me, but we are excited to launch a program called AG Next Gen Apprenticeship Program. Okay, so this exciting program, I know some of you may be fresh graduates who have joined here today, and probably some of you are already working, right? For those of you who are already working and you thought like, shucks, if it's just for fresh graduates, then I'm in the wrong forum. We do have a lot of vacancies in Aventra Group. Our lead recruiter, Valli, is also here with us. Our whole team is here, right? So do talk to us after this session, okay? But this program is specially designed for fresh graduates, right? So a lot of times when we start, right, as fresh graduates, Sometimes we would have gotten the course that we really were passionate about. Some of us would have taken a lot of course that our parents are very passionate about, right? And a lot of times the application we put, out of the 5 choices we put, probably if you're lucky, you get one of the choices or just chosen something else. So I don't know whether from agriculture you came to IT or IT is your passion, right? But whatever it is, I always believe that you need to have passion for everything that you do. And you have to continue to learn every day in order. So a lot of talks about AI has happened. So for me, it's time to talk about human, right? So apprentice program, this is a comprehensive 12 months program that Avantra Group has designed, right? We put a lot of thoughts and we wanted to help a lot of fresh graduates, whether locally, right? Also internationally for those who have joined us, right? But the very much focus is on local talents as well, right? Because I know a lot of times, especially COVID has taught us a lot of lessons, right? Some of us has, from degrees to masters have gone into online selling, baking, Grab drivers, e-hailing, right? Just to survive, right? But it's time for us to really turn things. I know that things are becoming better now. The market is picking up, especially in IT, especially in Avantra Group. We are growing very fast and we're doing a lot of hiring, right? So what we're doing is we are building the pipelines of fresh talents, right? So to talk about our program, right? So this is the program, what will happen in this 12 months of journey, right? So the first will be the onboarding and orientation experience, right? So we will welcome you all. There's a process, okay? So we welcome you all into our program and we will go through the orientation just like any new joiners, right? And immediately you would not be put on a job, right? There will be a learning journey for you with us, right? We will have mentors who will be mentoring. And of course, the main thing that we want to put you on is the technical training that we have. So being a Microsoft partner, a lot of our employees are taking up, Microsoft certifications as well. So you will be exposed to this Microsoft certification as well. So 5 minutes showing, so I need to speed up. Okay, so yes, thanks to my colleague who took more time than is supposed to. Okay, the interesting part is the project assignments, right? You will be exposed to real assignments, right? We work with a lot of multi or global clients, right? And our expertise or our industry is actually maritime, but IT is our business. We are end-to-end solutions provider, right? Turnkey solutions provider. So you these apprentice will be rotated, right? Because a lot of times they are, software engineering team. We have the, operations team, the development team. So you will be exposed around in the different business units, okay? And we talked about certification, right? The next is, of course, a lot of times when people are in IT, the most obvious thing that we notice is lack of soft skills, right? Not software skills. Software skills is a lot, but soft skills, right? So soft skills, the personal touch, because we work with computers and, hardware, softwares, we talk to chatbots, we forget how to talk to human beings, right? So to humanize the humans, we have a lot of soft skills development programs, right? And you'll be exposed to a lot of just like this event, right? It's one of them. So we will definitely expose you to a lot of networking events, okay? And next, before the end of the 12 months, right, we will do a performance evaluation. Now, what will happen is, a lot of times you struggle to get permanent job and we don't know, we're not sure. So this 12 months will give you and us an opportunity to get to know each other, whether the culture, the organization, the job scope is what you are looking for, right? After that, what will happen is, if you are it is a win-win situation. If you're suitable for the positions that we have, you will automatically be employed as our full-time employee, right? So that's the opportunity that we have, right? And we are hoping to have. And now, why this graduation ceremony came about is whoever joins this program will be the pilot team, right? So because this is the first time Avantra Group is doing such initiatives, and we are hand in hand. We have a lot of academia, a lot of universities that we engage with to do this. So if any one of you are interested, right, join us. So in outside, we've also put up a booth, okay? We also are giving away some free gifts. So if you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll get a pen, right? And also, if you're applying for this apprenticeship program, you also get a special gift from us, right? So with this, am I on time? Okay. So I just wanted to tell you all, it's been great coming back to Microsoft, right? For some of you who don't know, I used to work, Meet Community is very close to my heart, and I used to be with Microsoft as well. And now currently I'm in our Avantra Group as the head of people and culture. And it's great being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sheila. All right, thank you so much for that, Ram, Firdaus, and Sheila, for your presentation on Avantra Group and the AG Next Gen Apprenticeship Program. If any of you are interested to know more about this opportunity, this amazing opportunity, please do approach our speakers after this, okay?
Oh,
Hey, yeah, we do have a question.
is it for me?
Any allowance given for the apprenticeship?
Of course, nothing is free. So you see, yes, there will be allowances during this 12 months period. And, once you join as a permanent staff, there'll be full-blown salary also given to you as well. Is that all? Sorry, sorry? Did you answer? Is it how much? So how much will be disclosed to the shortlisted candidates? It will be definitely something which is benchmarked towards the market of fresh graduates. You can be assured of that. So do your research. Huh? Our location, like Ram shared, is in Jalan Semantan. Our office in Jalan Semantan. HQ base, yes. Yeah, so we talked a lot about remote hiring. I know that in Avantra Group, because we are building, we are a scale-up company. So we're growing very fast, and we have a lot of location in India, in Singapore, in Vietnam, and UAE, and all that, right? So for that, our core team is based in HQ in Malaysia. So for that, you need to work from office.
All right, anything else? Any other questions?
So you can always meet us at our booth afterwards if you have questions.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Sheila. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll now take a short break, about 10 minutes. Please feel free to mingle with the speakers. You can also take the opportunity to visit the counter outside the room to find out more on the Meet community and how you can join us if you're not a member yet. And for our online audience, please do have a stretch, refill your coffee, and we will see you back online in 10 minutes. All right, up next, we will have a session on the Microsoft certifications in the job market. So please put your hands together to welcome Gunjan Kataria, who is joining us all the way from India. So please put your hands together for Gunjan.
I need to unmute myself. Hi, hello everyone. Is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, can.
Should I go and start? Okay, I think that's cool. I can start. Hello everyone. I'm really happy and excited to be here. And as Firdaus said, that equally nervous to be talking to you all, but at the same time, I would say the energy levels are pretty high talking to all of you. Thanks for this opportunity to come and talk to you all. I really love the session that Firdaus, Sheila, and Ram has done. And Sheila, by the way, I followed the page, so I'll wait for my pen to come in. Uh, Great. So coming on to the session. So today what we're going to do is talk about Microsoft certification. I'll take a little more detail in terms of how these certifications and credentials that you earn helps you in terms of ramping up your career, making a brand for yourself, and standing apart, I would say, ahead of your peers. So we will cover this. We'll try to do it in an interactive way. I'll try and see that I do a little less of monologue and give you opportunities to ask questions. But I thought instead of putting an agenda slide, why not start by putting in some questions to say that when we are going through the entire next 12 minutes with you, at the end, you'll be able to find answers to these questions, right? So, like the very first question is, what do you hope to achieve with a Microsoft certification? What do you think a Microsoft certification can impact your career progression? Whether you are a fresher, whether you are still in college and would be graduating soon, or if you're already in a job, how does these certifications really help you? Also, a question that, okay, while I've understood that credentials really help me stand apart, what Microsoft certifications can align with my current job role or with my current study that I'm going through? And then the next one that, okay, while I know everything, what is the most challenging aspect of obtaining a Microsoft certification, right? So I'll try and take you through those as well. And then, do you believe Microsoft certifications are more valuable for a technical or a non-technical role? Generally, it's being said that if you are into a technical role, probably Microsoft certification and the cloud certification would really help you. So, does it really truth, or do we say that even non-technical roles can go ahead and take up these certifications to move ahead right, into their career path? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then the next question, probably which you'll find an answer to, is that how does continuous learning through certification benefit you into your tech industry? What's one skill you hope to improve by earning a Microsoft certification? Which Microsoft certification is on your wish list and why? How do you plan to prepare for your Microsoft certification exam? And how do you think Microsoft certification have a global recognition in tech community, right? So these are the questions that we'll try and answer when we move through the session. But before I take you in deeper into the slides, let me introduce myself. My name is Gunjan Kataria. I work out and based out of India. I'm currently working as a future skillings lead with Microsoft. I have an experience of 15 years working into educational technology space. I started my career by working into a K-12 domain where I started as an academic consultant. And then I moved across into product management, product development, and now I'm with Microsoft working with higher ed community. So, and if I tell you a little experience of myself, I'm a botany graduate, and then I have done my degree in education along with degree in business. So I come from a complete non-background, and therefore, I could be a truly advocate of saying that Microsoft certifications are not only something which would be beneficial for somebody who's in a technical role or I would say a core tech kind of a job, but everybody can benefit it by these roles depending on how do you select which certification suits you and how you want to use the knowledge that you earn from those certifications to move ahead into your career. How you can connect to me, I'll cover that towards the end of the slides. Right now I'm sharing my slides, so just want to take a quick check because I'm not able to see the chat. Are my slides visible to everyone? A yes or no from somebody in the team
Yes.
would really help me. Oh, great.
We can.
Thank you so much. So, Microsoft certifications and into my role, we get to talk to a lot of industry people. We talk to a lot of people in academia. We talk to a lot of skilling agencies who work and operate into the market, as well as with a lot of students. And what we have seen that over the period of time, there's there's this surge that is being seen in terms of seeing that how do I hire people who have skills by their side, right? And you would have heard it's being said that skill is the new currency. Now, for a person to go ahead and say that, hey, I possess these skills, there could be varied ways of saying that, right? But how do I and how do somebody standardize that skilling? So I sitting in India, let's say, for example, go and apply for a job in Malaysia while I would have done a degree here. Can I bring in something along with me which could be a clear testimony of the skills that I have as what is being required by the recruiter? So demand for certified tech experts are increasing, and that's why the reason being because these certifications, and I'm not right now talking about only Microsoft certifications in specific. Even if you talk about any other certification like a project management certification, Six Sigma certification, these certification actually create a credibility of yours because you have gone through a standardized way of assessing yourself onto a standardized skill set that is being there, which gives trust to the recruiter that you possess those skills with you. Even when Sheila was talking about the apprenticeship program, you would have seen that there's a component where we say that how do you go through skilling and then certify yourself so that you get those valid credentials by your side and you become a global talent. So it's not that you would only find a job in Malaysia, probably you find a job in US, or probably you find a job in Australia. So these tech skills, which you can showcase by a form of certified tech certification that you're bringing in, really brings a lot of value, and therefore companies are preferring to see if they can get these certified tech talents because it becomes a baseline for them to say that we can go ahead and build over this. And since I spoke about that there has to be a standardization, the inclination is towards seeing that how do we get industry aligned certification there. Because this one, they are global in nature. A person taking it in any part of the world, any city, any village would have same kind of assessment which they would have gone through and have gone through the same kind of the study material. So therefore, the success lies in terms of how do you present yourself along with these certifications in front of the recruiters, giving them the confidence that you come with those in-demand skills by your side and which is up to date as well. Because one very important thing is that I'm staying ahead of the curve and I'm also staying aligned in terms of what is coming as a technology right now and what industry is looking as a skill set in an individual. Just to give you some data points, because whatever I spoke onto the previous slide, while those are good things to be shared, but these are some data points that actually go and put in this as a concrete I would say proof in terms of that yes, really these certifications create a value for individual, right? So if you see 70% of organizations believe that industry recognized credentials are essential and very important tool for a skill training, right? This is as per a study that is being conducted by IDC InfoBrief, and this is June 2024, a very recent study that has been there. There's another study that was being done by Pearson View in 2023, which said 90% of the certification candidates who earned a credential are more confident in their abilities because they have these valid credentials by their side. So they are able to very confidently go and approach any situation in terms of the work that comes in or even when they're going and applying for different jobs. Another study, again done by Pearson View, says that 77% of the certified candidates are able to innovate after earning these certification. And one reason which I think, and I'll tell you because I have done some fundamental certifications when I joined Microsoft, it really gives you a knowledge in terms of what's going on to the industry because all of these certifications are continuously updated, upgraded to ensure that whatever is being taught and whatever you are going through the certification is something which is in sync with what is happening into the industry right now. So these are few facts that are there, right? Now, for you to go ahead and take a little deep dive into what these Microsoft credentials are, right? I would say there are two kind of credentials that are available in Microsoft. One is a very new, I'm sure like a lot of you would have heard about Microsoft technology certifications, but probably some of you would not have heard about a new credential that has just come up. And it's It's a very latest edition, just as late as not November, when there was a Ignite event and these were being launched by Satya. So I'll take you through that, what are those different Microsoft credentials. But before even I get into it, one question that must be coming into your mind, that how do I get started onto a credential? Do I need to be a graduate? Do I need to be a postgraduate? Do I need to be a working professional? Who I need to be when I want to go ahead and take up these credentials, right? So the answer is that if you are interested in technology, if you are wanting to make transition into technology, these certifications come as a very good source of you to give you that confidence so that you can start moving into this journey, right? These certifications are very kind of certifications, and when I take you on to the next slides, I'll talk about that. But just right now, if I talk about that, these certifications are good even if you're looking towards creating an understanding of technology. So you are complete, let's say, new to technology right now, you're bringing towards saying that I want to start my career. So there are courses and certification which you can start at a beginner level, right? And gradually you can go ahead and move to the higher up certifications depending on what's your interest area and what do you want to make your career into, right? So somebody who's starting as a beginner, there's a certification for them. Somebody who's wanting to accelerate in terms of the skills that they have, there's a certification for them. So depending on what your career goals are, what your aspiration is, and what your background is, you can go ahead and pick up the certification that you think is best for you and move into that direction. These assessments are either MCQ based question or the lab based assessment. I'm sure a few of you will be surprised hearing that what is this lab based assessment, but you'll get to know because these are the new credentials that are being launched right now. What is a time investment in terms of giving the exam? It's an online exam. You can visit a test center or you can sit at your home and give these exams. It's up to you which modality do you want to pick up. Generally, these exams are 60 to 90 minutes depending on which certification exam that you're going through, right? So now let's go a little deeper to understand that what does Microsoft credential mean and what are the different kind of credentials that are available, right? So I'll first talk about one, which is like a well-known, which is a Microsoft certifications, right? Now these certifications comes across different technology areas like Azure, data and AI, Dynamics, security. So Microsoft has different solution plays, and within each solution play, you would see that there are different kind of certifications that are available, right? And in the previous slide, I briefly touched upon that these certifications are there for beginners, and gradually there's advancement that happens in terms of the skill set that are being assessed. So majorly these are being clubbed into three. So there's a progressive journey for every individual who's getting to start with it. So you do one and then you have a further way to go ahead and keep on increasing your skill set. So the fundamental certifications, these are foundational IT knowledge skills that you get in, prepare for advanced certification, right? So for example, if somebody is looking for a tech sales kind of a job, right? So then you don't have to go and talk deep into technology. You don't have to create something. You need to have a know-how of the industry, the terms that are being used, so that when you, I would say, sit in front of the customer, you're able to understand their language and you're able to speak in the same language, right? So for example, we have a certification by the name of AI Fundamentals. Now, AI is everywhere. So while you know that I would not be using AI to develop AI solutions, but probably I need to know what AI is. What does NLP do? What does LLMR? What is computer vision? So these certifications are being created just to create a know-how of the entire terminology and get acquainted with that domain, right? And if you want to go ahead and make your career into technology, this is also a starting stone for you to say that I start from here by getting acquainted to these terminologies. Then you have a role-based and expert level certification. Role-based certification are aligned with industry and tech roles. For example, there's a certification which is an AI administrator, there could be a DevOps engineer. Depending on what your interest area is and what you are seeing towards moving ahead in which direction, you can pick up those certifications. Expert level certifications where you say that, okay, now I want a mastery in this particular domain. So that's where expert level certifications comes in. You can start from fundamentals, move to expert. If you already know fundamentals, you can directly start with role-based. So there's no compulsion in terms of that you have to start from fundamental and then only you can move to expert. Depending on what background you're coming in from, you can start your journey from there. I'll just show you. I know the next screen is a little smaller in fonts, but there's a link which we'll be posting in just a short while. This is a link which is a quick cheat sheet for you to know that what are the different Microsoft certifications that are there, right? All these certification, Pearson View is our testing partner. Whenever you are ready, every certification is being supported by a self-paced content. So if you don't want to invest in terms of training yourself, there's a free self-paced content that is available on Microsoft Learn. You can go ahead, go through that self-paced content, prepare yourself, and then you can go and sit for the certification exam. If you're a student, you can actually avail academic discounting, where these certifications would be discounted for you as per the market price. If you're a working professional, then there's no discounting, but these certifications are available to you. You can go ahead, book yourself, and take up these certifications, right? So when I give this link to you, and this cheat sheet open to you, everything that you see here is a clickable link. You click on the link and it will be taking you to the respective certification to give you more details. And if you see, there are different solution areas that are being given, like there's an infrastructure, data and AI, digital app innovation, modern work, business application, and security. So depending on, let's say, for example, if you're a security professional and if you're looking for a certification in that area, you can go ahead and you can do this. Let's say, for example, Firdaus said that he's a data scientist. He wants to further upskill himself. He can go ahead and look at the data and AI track and see whether he wants to go ahead and upskill himself by taking up a specialty certification. So these are the list of certifications that are there. Now, second is where we have launched lately something which are skill-based assessment. Now, you would say that what is the difference between certification and skill-based assessment? So whenever we talk about certification actually assess you on multiple skills in one go. And these are MCQ questions, which is at application level. You would have certain instance where you would have some lab-based question also that you need to answer. But certification majorly is a MCQ kind of a question paper, where there's an instance that is being given, you have a scenario, you have a question, go through the question, answer through the 4 questions. The new credentials that are being released to make you proficient into one skill at a time, right? And I'll take an example because this is one which I'm currently enrolled into, where I'm learning about natural language processing, right? Now, one at a time means that I'll only be learning about natural language processing. And this is more of a hands-on kind of a thing. So when even I'm going through the learning content, which is again freely available for you to go and consume onto MS Learn, it takes you through certain examples. It sets up a sandbox environment for you so that you can go ahead, you can consume, you can practice those skills. And then when the assessment comes in, it's a lab-based assessment. So if I take you to your school days and even into your graduation, you would know that while we have certain time being set in for theory, there's certain time that is being set in for practicals, right? So here your assessment is a lab-based assessment. You don't have to schedule anything from your end. Everything is being given as a part of the lab to you. So they set up a virtual machine for you. If you need Azure credits, that will be given to you. If you need Gen AI credit, it will be given to you. So you don't have to bring in anything from outside, right? 2-hour lab-based assessment, put in certain scenarios in front of you. You have to go ahead and solve for those scenarios. You will be assessed on how you solve for those scenarios, and then you get a certification by your side. I missed putting in a certification image here. If you clear Microsoft certification as well as Microsoft credential, you get a certificate, which is a Microsoft verifiable credential certificate, which you can post on LinkedIn. It's signed by Satya. You can go ahead and email it to other people. You can go ahead and download and frame it, print it, frame it, and put it on the wall as well, right? I'll try and quickly show you that how that certification looks like, right? So first one was Microsoft certification, where I showed you that there is beginner level certification, there's advanced level certification, and there's an expert level certification. Similarly, Microsoft credential, while there is no degree of advancement into it. But if I take you that these are the current applied skills that are being launched right now, these applied skills are available across different solution areas. And these applied skills, since these are the scenarios, these are majorly at intermediate level, right? So if you come with a certain background into technology, you can easily go ahead through these and you can go and clear this. The good news is that Microsoft
Gunjan,
applied
one
skills,
second.
yes, yeah.
If in the interest of time, if you could wrap it up, that'd be
Yes, I'll
great.
just take one more minute.
All
Just
right,
one
thank
more
you.
minute. Thank you for time keeping me. Sorry, I become a little too passionate about this topic, so I just became a little emotional. So, Microsoft Applied Skills right now are free. So, I'll be posting this link as well. Depending on what's your interest area, you can pick up the solution area and you can go ahead and attempt these Microsoft Applied Skills assessment, right? 2 hour assessment, you can take it multiple times. And which particular Microsoft applied skill you want to take and how many applied skill you want to take in, there's no cap onto that. And we'll be posting this link, so don't worry about this. I've already covered this, so I'm skipping this, which kind of tells you that which particular credential is a right fit for you. You can start from Microsoft applied skills and then gradually you can move towards Microsoft certification. This is how I see applied skills and certification as. I'm just skipping this. I'm just getting on to the final slide, which says, how do you get started with Microsoft Credential? The first thing is that select your credential. I've shown you those different solution areas. Which particular area is of interest to you? First, identify that. Once you have identified that, go through the learning path and the training material that is available or MS Learn. Or you can go ahead and also attend trainings if it's available through some of the people and some of the agencies in your area. And then once you're done with the preparation, go ahead and schedule your exam. The Microsoft certifications are a paid offering, but you can avail a student discount. If you're a student, Microsoft Applied Skills are currently free of cost. And once you have got the certification and you've cleared the certification and you have got the final certificate, please go ahead and flaunt it on LinkedIn to build your resume and put in your brand in front of everyone. I think I've majorly covered this question. Sorry, at the end, I have to make it a little rushed one. In the last slide, I've just put in that if you want to go ahead and connect with me, search me by the name. My name is Gunjan Kataria. It's unique in itself. So if you type Gunjan Kataria, you'll only find one Gunjan Kataria. I've put in my picture here with the banner image, so it will be easy for you to identify me. So with that, I'll close, and I'm so sorry. I think I overexceeded the time, but happy to
No
answer
worries.
any questions.
All right,
Hey,
thank you
Kamini.
so much for that, Gunjan, for that very informative session. Absolutely, and please do check out our certifications because it does cover a wide range of interests as well. And up next, we will have a session on the career advice in Microsoft skills. Please put your hands together to welcome Mohammed Suzaril Shah Zakaria, Network Support Engineer at F5. Please welcome.
Oh, yeah, sure. Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Mhm. No worries.
Should be all right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Muhammad Suzari Shah bin Zakaria. In short, you guys can call me Shah. My name is a bit long, I know. Just call me Shah, right? So today I am going to present about career advice. It's not an advice. I think I would say that I would like to share my experience to fresh graduates and also students. I know most of the mid community are consisted of IT professionals, students, and also
fresh graduates, right? And a little bit about Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program. Although we have covered this in the previous Meet event before, back in March, but I think I want to, maybe share a little bit of my experience in the program, right? So again, I'm introducing myself. I am Muhammad Zarshabir Zakaria. I am a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, the only gold milestone Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador in Malaysia, and also a Microsoft Certified Trainer. Thank you. All right, and I am also a network support engineer at F5. If you know Nginx, Zscaler, load balancing, I work for that company. I am currently studying a master's degree at University Kuala Lumpur. Who here is from Unical? You're the only one. Studying machine learning, data analytics, and also IoT on Azure, right? So if you want to know more about myself, you can go to my website, suzarsha.uk. And if you want to know more about what I am doing or writing, you can go to my blog.suzarsha.uk. A shameless plug for myself. Okay, so who here have ambitions? Don't have any people who have ambitions? I would like to select maybe 1 or 2 people in the audience to share a little bit about their ambitions. Can someone raise your hands? Or you guys simply don't have any ambitions? Oh, Hazik. Yeah. Can you share your name and also your ambition?
Hello, my name is Muhammad Hazik bin Rohaizan. Currently, my ambition, maybe network engineer.
Network engineer.
Become a network engineer.
He's studying network, diploma in network system, right? Okay, so which is nice. I think ambitions is supposed to be a baby step for you in your career, right? When you were little, you were asked by your parents, by your teachers. They're all asking what you want to be in the future. Most of them say that, they want to be a soldier, they want to be a politician, they want to be something else, right? They want to be scientists. But everybody hates politicians in the end, right? But again, these are baby steps for you. These are the seeds for you to look into the future on what you are going to be. And based on ambitions, you can list out some of the action items to make yourself achieve that particular goals, right? So a little bit about myself, since this is an experience sharing, right? This is not a career advice, this is an experience sharing. So from UPSR to SPM, my dream has always been to become an astrophysicist, right? I really like learning about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, black holes, studying stars. But the thing is, after SPM, I asked my uncle. My uncle is a figure whom I look up to, and he gave me this one wonderful advice. Right? What was the advice? The advice was that he said that, Shah, I don't want to hinder you to become an astrophysicist, but I want to give you this one advice. The advice is to look at the job market. You go to LinkedIn, you go to Indeed.com and see what are the market demand for jobs, right? And when I look at Indeed.com and LinkedIn, I saw there's no demand for astrophysics. And the second advice my uncle told me is that find the things that align to your value. For me, at that time, my value was I want to get higher salary. I want to have a high-paying job. And so working in a big company. So I look into the list and saw software engineers. At the time, software engineers is very high-paying job, right? So I set my course to study software engineering during diploma years at German Malaysian Institute. And studying software engineering more and more into the realm of software engineering and stuff, I started to attract myself to network engineering instead. So that's why I go study network engineering at University Kuala Lumpur, right? And yeah, during master, my ambition is still evolving, right? I'm still looking for what I want to be in the future, right? It could be a business owner, becoming a CTO, project manager, or even a lecturer, right? So again, I want to say that ambitions is supposed to be evolving, right? We don't say that, oh, okay, I want to be this one particular ambition, I want to be this one particular role for the rest of your entire life. No, we should be the ambition should be evolving, right? So the job that I had so far, first of all, during fresh graduates, I got an IT support engineer role at Regi Networks. Anyone here have worked with Regi? Regi is supposed to be a competitor to Cisco devices. They make networking devices such as, in the realm of Cisco and so Huawei, right? And also I transitioned to become a technical support engineer at Docker, which I learned a lot from the role. And I just signed this one role. The current role that I have right now, network support engineer at F5, I think 2 weeks ago. Congratulations to me. It was not easy. I have 2 technical interviews and 3 interviews with the hiring manager, I don't remember, the solution architect and stuff. I think 5 level of interviews. Okay, so for career planning, right? Of course, after you have ambitions, you need to set up goals and action items, right? So first, I want to share with you the SMART goals diagram, right? Where you can follow this. I specifically follow this, model to list out some of the action items I do when I want to achieve my ambitions, right? So the first one is specific. If you have any action items that contributes to your ambitions, make sure it is specific so that you don't really chase the bigger things. You chase a specific things first, right? Smaller progress contributes to larger progress, right? And make sure your goals is measurable and also achievable as well, so that you don't burn out yourself, right? I burn out myself so many times finding for the things that I want to be. But instead, I break it down into smaller chunks and achieve it one by one until I stand here today. And also, you need to make your goals or action items to be relevant, right? Make sure it aligns with your value. What are the things that you want to do, right, that contributes to the value, that aligns with your value of the bigger picture, right? And make sure to have a deadline for all of your action items. So to make you have prioritization, right? Which task or which objective that you want to prioritize first, you want to achieve first. And then we move down to the more, what we call it, lower priority action items. Okay, so how to set up objective and action items, right? For me, myself, I started late, right? I started to draft all of my action items and objective when I was studying when I was still in final years of my bachelor study. I wish I could have done that earlier, right? And the first objective that I want to, these are some of the objectives that I have back in university, right? First of all, to get a good CGPA, right? Not because the industry demands it, but the learning opportunity that comes from university, right? From university, you have a lot of lecturers. You can ask them. They are the subject matter experts. Some of them work with industry maybe for 10 to 15 years. But the thing is, it is up to us to grab that knowledge and display it in the form of CGPA. I graduated with 3.81 CGPA from UniKL. Thank you. So my second objectives and action items was that, remember just now, I was interested to become a software engineer, right? Software developers. So I do freelance during study. First of all, what I get from that is the money. Getting money, freelance money, while studying is a big help. For me, I could buy anything. I could just, live outside the norm of being a student, right? And the second thing, I think this is supposed to be the first one, building portfolio, right? If say, for example, if I want to apply for a job, software engineer job, I could, display some of the portfolio that I work with during my freelancing era. And the third reason why I did this, is because I want to get the experience of becoming a software developer or software engineer. It was not fun working with clients. We have so much demands. I got calls in the morning. I got scolded by the clients saying that, oh, I want to launch these products, but I can't because my website is down. So it was a challenging moment for me, but I got through it. Okay. And the third objective that I have on my list during my study was that I network with professionals by attending these kinds of events, right? And go to LinkedIn. I still remember when I was still in the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program, I look at a lot of people in India, a lot of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador from India. They are all committed to advance themselves, right? They have a lot of certifications. They have, a lot of titles, a lot of experience, portfolio projects. So I want to compete with them, and I joined the program, and I look into this initiative, which contributes to many things that I learned. All right, and then join extracurricular activities at the university. I organized the Developer Student Club in my university, co-founded the club, but I part ways with my lead, with my president, because of some arguments. And then I joined Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Okay, so I joined the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program in 2020 when COVID hits us, which sucks because I can't do any physical events. But although I can't do any physical events, I managed to get an online event. Online event, we have 100 plus attendees. These kinds of events, right, make me to get out of my comfort zone. Actually, I was an introvert myself, a critical introvert. I can't, present myself like this in front of you without hosting these kinds of events. And I learned a lot of soft skills. I learned how to do events. I learned how to organize events myself. And then in the event, in the program itself, I got a lot of certifications. During that time, Microsoft offered a lot of certifications for free. I want to showcase the certifications that I have in the next slide, but let's move on to the next slide, right? And then in the program itself offer a lot of resources like MSDN, subscription, $150 Azure Cloud credits, and this enable me to create more projects and experiment things with Microsoft products and services, right? And then I got involved with leadership initiative in the program, such as hosting hackathons, mentoring in the Imagine Cup competition, judge opportunities in Microsoft Imagine Cup Junior, and become a Microsoft student trainer, leading study group for AZ900 back in 2022. And then after that, I got to create content to boost my confidence. I created a video on Azure OpenAI services back then. And the video got uploaded to Microsoft Reactor YouTube, which I feel very proud of. And then after that, I got to write articles at Microsoft Tech Community websites, which also boosts my confidence, right? So these are some of the certifications that I had, that I currently hold. Some of them are expired, but there are actually more, but it cannot fit into this one slide. Okay, so I want to, I want to introduce yourself to Microsoft Student Ambassador program. If you haven't heard of that yet, Student Ambassador program is actually a student advocate program which advocates for Microsoft products and services. They are a group of campus leaders who are eager to help fellow students create robust tech communities and develop technical and career skills for the future, right? Microsoft vision is actually empower every single person on earth to achieve more, and that includes students as well. So if you want to get into this program, you can just scan the QR code or just go to mvp.microsoft.com and US/student-ambassadors/apply. I'm sorry for the long link. Okay, so what are the milestones? Just now I have explained a little bit about my experiences, right? So actually all of the benefits are presented just now, but let's just go through this one by one, right? When you join the Student Ambassador Program, you need to complete a few things. Previously, we have 4 milestones, but right now it got reduced to only 3 milestones. Okay, so when you get into the Microsoft Student Ambassador Program, you get access to Microsoft 365 products, right? That means you can use Copilot, right? You don't use it for free. You get the Visual Studio Enterprise, where you can get a lot of Microsoft products and services, where you can do experiment on those product services, which is very nice. USD $150 monthly Azure credits, where you get $150 Azure cloud credits every month, right? And I personally host my website on Azure, right? It doesn't incur me any costs at all. And the $150 renewed every month. And then access to Microsoft Teams, access to cutting-edge AI technologies, badges and certifications, yada, 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 all right? And once you have met a lot of requirements to become a beta student ambassador, you will get a beta swag kit. After this, I'll show you some of the swags that was sent by Microsoft, right? You got the opportunity to earn Microsoft certification voucher for free. If you want to get certified for free, feel free to be a beta student ambassador, right? And you got event content and support, including attendees incentive, and access to entrepreneurship support and expert guidance. For Microsoft, we have one more program, which is called Microsoft Startup for Founders for Startup. So this program give you the opportunity to explore a lot of AI technology, to implement AI technology, Microsoft AI technology, in your startup solutions for free, right? You get, if I'm mistaken, up to $150,000 worth of open API credits, right? And then, Azure Cloud Credit, and you have a few open AI credits to be given as well. And after that, if you contribute enough, you get to become Gold Student Ambassador, right? So Gold Ambassador, you got to have the Gold swags. I'll show the swags after this. And you got to join the program leadership opportunities, get nomination for Microsoft Valuable Professional Award, and opportunities to participate in pilot programs, right? So previously, the student ambassadors got included in the Windows Insider community. The Windows Insider community is basically a community which are enthusiastic about Windows, right? And I got the award, the Windows Insider Award, back in 2023. Okay, so these are some of the swag kits. During beta student ambassador, you will get physical copy of the certificates, a couple of stickers, socks, and also a t-shirt from Microsoft, and also thermos as well. If you advance to Gold Student Ambassador, you will get the bag. If I'm mistaken, they revised the bag to hoodie, if I'm mistaken, Loom Cube, and also physical certificates of your certificate. Okay. So what's next? I mean, just now I've shown you what the Microsoft Student Ambassador program has contributed to me personally, right? It contributes to my self-confidence, to my soft skills, to my technical skills as well. I think this program is very great for students, for fresh graduates. If you are planning to continue your master's degree or PhD, feel free to apply to this program as well. So what's next, right? So I think this one is self-explanatory. You can just create a nice resume. You can just go to Google and download Harvard resume templates. Basically, you don't need any fancy design resume, design in Illustrator or Photoshop, right? You just put information that is relevant to the job you are applying. I've seen a lot of fresh graduates making mistakes where they are applying for software developer roles, but they are including the cashier experience. That is not necessary.
You just put, if you don't have any working experience, just showcase any projects that you are involved in, right? And that does not include university assignment, right? So you just, you're involved in a project, just experiment, use the learning resources that the Microsoft Malaysia Ambassador Program is giving you, right? And if you got the chance to get an interview sessions with companies, with different companies, right? You, first of all, you need to be prepared, right? Be prepared and make sure to practice the interview with your peers or any connections, right? Do a role-playing interview sessions, just asking questions and asking them for feedback after the interview sessions, after the role-playing sessions. And remember, in an interview session, remember to be honest, because the hiring manager will know if you lie. So make a good impressions to them and make sure to be honest. Okay, show that you can contribute to the company as much as possible. So I think that is all. Thank you so much for listening. I am now opening the stage for Q&A sessions. Any questions from the members of the floor? No one? So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time. And I hope you learn a lot from my session. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shah. Always very inspirational talk whenever you come here to talk. And all right, so this will be the last session for today. We will now run a quiz challenge. Anyone wants to win some prizes? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah, of course, anybody can join. All right, so we have some exclusive limited edition goodies to give away to our winners. Prizes will be given out to the first 6 submissions with all correct answers. We have prepared 6 prizes for our on-site audience and 6 prizes for our online audience as well, so everyone will have a fair chance of winning. Firstly, if you'd like to participate in this quiz, please take out your phone and scan the QR code on the screen. For our on-site audience, please scan the QR code on the left. And for our online audience, please scan the QR code on the right. Then you will come to a Microsoft form. Please fill in your details first and be on standby for our questions. Make sure your details are accurate so that our organizers can contact you if you are one of the winners, okay? All right, all questions are multiple choice. You will need to only key in the answer options, okay? So just like A, B, C, or D. You don't need to key in the whole answer itself because, you know, you need to be fast. So if everyone is ready, I'll start flashing the questions, okay? Else still registering? Anybody? All right. Let's go on to the first question. What is the primary purpose of using AI in resume screening? Identifying the best coffee shops near the office? Efficiently filtering and ranking job applications? Predicting the weather for the interview day? D, creating origami animals from resumes. Better be quick. All right. Anybody still keying the answers? All right, moving on to our second question. Which of the following is not the commonly used program language for artificial intelligence? A, Perl. B, Java. C, Prolog. D, Lisp. Go ahead and key in your answers. All right, anybody still keying the answers? All right, moving on to the third question. Which is the term for AI systems that learn from historical data to make predictions about future job performance? A, predictive analytics. B, fortune cookie reading. C, tea leaf fortune telling. And D, magic wand waving. I wonder which one it is. All righty. Anybody else keying in the answers? Moving on to the fourth question. How can organizations address biasness in AI-driven recruitment processes? A, hiring only candidates who can levitate. B, regularly auditing and refining algorithms. C, consulting with astrologers. And D, offering AI-powered career counseling. Remember to key in just the letter itself. All right. Anybody still keying in? Can move on. All right. Question 5. Which AI application helps match job seekers with suitable positions? A, Tinder for Jobs. B, Magic 8 Ball. C, LinkedIn. D, Ouija board. All right, let's see who has quick hands. All right, moving on to the sixth question. Face recognition system is based on which type of approach? A, weak AI approach. B, applied AI approach. C, cognitive AI approach. And D, strong AI approach. All right. Now, moving on to the seventh question. What is the difference between narrow AI and general AI? A, narrow AI focuses on specific tasks, while general AI can perform any intellectual task. B, narrow AI is only used in narrow spaces, while general AI is used globally. C, narrow AI is trained on narrow data sets, while general AI use broad data sets. And D, narrow AI is type of AI that only works during daylight hours. All right, keying in the answer, we can move on to the eighth question. Explain the concept of transfer learning in deep learning. A, transfer learning involves moving data from one server to another. B, transfer learning is a process of transferring knowledge from one domain to another. C, transfer learning refers to transferring neural network weights from one motor to another. And D, transfer learning is about transferring AI models across different planets. All right. Keying the answer. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next question. Question 9. What is the Turing test? I said Turing, not Turing, Turing. And why is it significant in AI? The Turing test. Turing test is a test for AI's ability to predict stock market trends. It's a test to determine if an AI can pass as a human in a conversation. The Turing test evaluates AI's ability to solve complex math problems. And D, it's a test to see if AI can predict the winner of a reality TV show. Turing test, yeah? Not Turing test. I can see the discussion amongst the crowd now. All right. I believe this is the final question. What are GANs, generative adversarial networks, and how do they work? GANs are AI-generated grandmas who bake cookies. GANs are neural networks that generate realistic data by competing against each other, used to predict the outcome of rock, paper, scissors game, and AI models that specialize in generating cat memes. Okay. All right, so that was the last question. And that is the end of the quiz challenge. Thanks so much for participating. We will be giving out 6 prizes for our on-site audience and 6 prizes for our online audience. For our on-site audience, if you are one of the winners, you will receive an SMS text to notify you to redeem your prize from the registration counter later. And for our online audience, if you are one of the winners, you will receive an email from our organizers on how you can collect your prize. And that will conclude our sessions for today. I hope the sessions are enlightening and will help you in your next step to develop your career in tech. If you are still not part of the Meet community on LinkedIn, do scan this QR code to find out more on how you can join us and be part of the community. And for our online audience, thank you once again for joining us and have a good day. And thank you, everyone. All right. And can I request everyone to come forward so that we can take a